All right, part 2 for today. My kids have not come down and get me yet, so I still have some more time. All the cards. Let's use these cards. Pink Learning Tarot. Should have got these when I first started. Okay, so we left off reading. Let's turn this light up more. So we left off reading. Exploring Darkness. Wait, no. I don't want to skip. Because we were already reading about darkness the last time. Alone and very, very cold. Going through pain, the gift of the dark. So I don't want to skip this part. A monk's vision. All right, a monk's vision. If St. John of the Cross were living today, I'm convinced he'd be most startled by the seemingly endless number of comforts people enjoy. St. John is known for resisting such comforts. Born into poverty in the year of 1542, he lost his father at a young age and moved from place to place with his mother and brothers in order to survive. Like many in his day, he probably found the monastic life appealing because of his need for security, solidity, even safety. But it wouldn't take long for him to see the lie in that appeal. Living during the same century that the Protestant Reformation took place, St. John, like Martin Luther and others, recognized the spiritual barrenness of the comfortable monastic life of his time. As he saw it, his brothers, the Carmelites, were using the monastic life as a kind of false security, a way of avoiding the demands of a cruciform life. More than that, St. John felt that they were missing out on love, which is the heart of the spiritual life. I like how they put that. That life, after all, was about a fierce and passionate relationship with God for the sake of the world, something these comfortable monks knew little about. And so St. John spoke up, and like the prophets before him, he was despised, rejected, and ultimately imprisoned. Prison life in St. John's time was awful. His cell was cold, dark, and not much bigger than his body. He was publicly mocked and lashed regularly, all for challenging the comfortable lifestyle he saw among his brothers. However, the hardships of prison gradually peeled away the deeper layers of his own false security. Ian Matthew writes, It was if the anesthetic which normal life provides had worn off. His inner self had been scraped bare, and he now ached in a way he never had before for a God who was utterly beyond him. Paradoxically, prison didn't harden St. John. It ignited in him a more fierce love, ultimately preparing him to lead a movement. If tomorrow was Judgment Day. Oh. Now, Lord asked me what I did with my life. I would say that I spent it with you. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright. Your love is my love. My love is your love. It would take an eternity to break us. Okay. Spirit. Escaping prison, St. John formed a new monastic order with the help of his friend and spiritual director, Teresa of Avila. This was an order shaped by a vision that John had in prison, a vision of a dark night of the soul, which, he contended, brought more illumination, deeper love, and more focused mission to his life than he knew before. Saturated with the imagery of the biblical book Song of Songs, his vision featured God and the church in a tumultuous love affair, with times of great pain and absence giving way to spectacular reunions, Matthew writes. Sounds about right. He proposes a relationship with Christ as the adventure, and for him, the negativity of life was part of that adventure. The journey has to feel like night because it leads to the unknown. If Christianity meant mere maintenance, then bewilderment or darkness wouldn't spell disaster. But darkness is a condition of the Christian life. Ashe, spirit, spirit. St. John assumed that without the darkness, you and I would be helplessly caught in illusory images of the good life. And he'd ask us the very hard question, are you offering the gospel or preaching an illusion? The dark night for St. John is the cure for our arrogance, our blindness, our vacuum of empathy. Exploring darkness. What is the dark night of the soul? It sounds mysterious, even a bit spooky. Is it a bad day, a significant failure, or a tragic loss, or a deep depression? Some have argued that St. John was only writing about something we identified as a mere psychological malady. Thank you, Spirit. Damn, that came out cool. Okay. It's the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Reverse change, fatality, loss, robbery, games of hazard, something's pension. Okay. Sounds accurate. Okay, slow down. Slow down. Modern psychologists suspicious of religious language have interpreted phenomena such as the deep cries of pain in the Psalms and lamentations and biblical language of desertion and abandonment as nothing more than clinical depression. The Three of Cups in reverse. This one says expedition, dispatch, achievement, and end. We're going to read the cards meanings in a minute, but just to get a little bit of a... In our... others see the dark night as merely an illusion, but there are some who see the dark night as a spiritual projection of an inner shadow side that every human being has. Its language was fitting for primitive monks, but for the enlightened... The cards are so pretty today. Pretty pink. What do we got? The Queen of Swords. Her right hand raises the weapon vertically, and the hilt rests on an arm of her royal chair. The left hand is extended, the arm raised. Her countenance is severe, chastened, and suggests familiarity with sorrow. Kind of be like in the Dark Night of the Soul. Divinatory meanings. Widowhood, female sadness and embarrassment, absence, sterility, mourning. Okay. In our contemporary world, it's easy to scoff. Yeah. But there are okay, start over. Others see the dark night as merely an illusion, but there are some who see the dark night as the spiritual projection of an inner shadow side that every human being has. Its language was fitting for primitive monks, but for the enlightened, it is also empirically understandable and manageable. In our contemporary world, it's easy to scoff at the seemingly primitive thinking of a Spanish monk. But St. John of the Cross and St. Teresa of Avila understood that psychological dynamics, not only spiritual dynamics, are often at play in the dark night experience. Though they lack modern categories and definitions, they exhibited keen psychological insight. Wait, let's read the Queen of Swords, the Three of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, the Ten of Pentacles, the sum of all the coins represents permanence in home, health, finances, and family. When you get this card, you can be assured that they are here to stay. Knowledge, love, and skills are passed on from one generation to the next. Money, prosperity, or land are inherited. Listen to and learn from the experience and wisdom of your elders. Take your appropriate place in the family pageant. Hold on, good time. So 3 is the number for growth. And the cups wants you to be circumspect in the company you keep. It's sometimes appropriate to be skeptical and a little suspicious of a new